Hi, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of Cookie Bites. This is the Entrepreneurship Program, bit by bit training program, if you will, for Girl Scouts of Silver Sage. This is a brand new series of videos, again, short bites, and these videos will give you information about our entrepreneurship programs, including our fall product program and the Girl Scout cookie program. These videos will include things like this one, the skills that the girls learn and the reasons why the entrepreneurship programs are critical to a girl's growth and development. We also will talk about things like cookie booths in future videos. We'll talk about how the cookie systems work. We'll talk about the different varieties and flavors of cookies and how volunteers can participate in the program, how families can participate in the program. But today is all about the importance of the skills learned through the cookie program and why they were important personally to Kim and to me. Speaking of Kim, we have two Kims on today. I am Kim Ross. I run the cookie program here from our Boise headquarters office. And then we have Kim Husin. She is Kim version 2.0, the upgrade. And she is working with us remote from the Houston area. Welcome, Kim. Thank you for joining us today. This is going to be a lot of fun, and we are ready for the next slide, please.
Okay.
All right, so we are going to have a brief agenda today, and that's because this is a cookie bite. So as you get accustomed to these cookie bites, these will be short and sweet bites of information. Here we're going to talk about what the entrepreneurship skills are, so we will identify them. Then we'll talk about why they're important and all the different situations where Girl Scouts use these skills. They are truly woven through a girl's life. Then we'll talk about why participating in the programs is such a great opportunity. And then we'll share with you the alignment between the Girl Scout Promise and Law, and then also how the entrepreneurship programs fit into the Girl Scout leadership experience. Next slide, please. Oh, this might be my favorite one. This talks about, actually you can see here, Kim and me and in our youth, looking through how the cookie program affected us. So here I am on the left as a brownie. This is, you can see my first day as a brownie. I don't have any pins or anything at all, just my troop number. I was eventually, not at the very beginning, but eventually a top cookie seller in the state of Florida. And cookies really taught me so many skills that have helped me in my life and in my career. This year, I was named a Idaho Businesswoman of the Year. I've also am part of the Idaho 500, which is a new designation for the top 500 business people in the state. And I just really give Girl Scouts all of that credit. Kim, can you tell us a little bit about your experience selling cookies?
Sure. So I actually learned recently from my mom that I was one of the top sellers in my Girl Scout troop when I was a kiddo. The photo of me in there is I am a junior scout, and we are doing one of our bridging ceremonies, and you see me there as a flag bearer. This is probably why I have a few more patches on my vest. And one of the things that selling cookies did for me as a kid, I grew up in Chicago, super cold. There were times, at the end of January that we couldn't go outside because it was -20 with wind chill, and you felt icicles hitting your face with the wind out there. So my mom would make a photocopy of my order card from the year before. And she said, all right, here's the phone, go start making calls to everybody on this list. So I'd usually start with my grandma or my aunts and uncles. And I have 13, 14 aunts and uncles. So I had a lot of people to go through and practice on before I got to my neighbors. But then I could call them up and just be like, oh, hey, this is Kim, your, favorite local Girl Scout. And I see you ordered cookies X, Y, and Z last year. Would you like to reorder those again this year? Or would you like to hear about the new cookie that came out? And, learning that skill ended up eventually helping me later on in several different jobs that I've had, where I had to, call a business or a vendor and be like, hey, I'd like to talk to you about this, or calling one of our cookie booth partners and saying, hey, Fred Meyer, would you be okay having a cookie booth here again this year? We want to make sure that it's going to be at door number 1, right outside the grocery department. And can the girls be inside, outside, whatever information that I need to get from them and they need to give to me. They want to talk to me. I just need to pick up the phone and actually make the phone call, which as an introvert is sometimes harder than it sounds. But knowing this about, me now, you'd never imagine that me or other Kim here who were shy little girls that, hid behind mom at those first couple of cookie, sale interactions and did, want to speak up or talk out and look at us now. We've got a YouTube channel.
I know it's pretty great, Kim. Well, when you said it's hard as an introvert, I'm like, who? Like, who are you talking about? Because it sure isn't reflective of what I know of you now. But that's really the special part of the Girl Scout cookie program. It really is so much more than just selling cookies. It really is a hugely powerful tool that helps girls develop these essential life skills that we're going to tell you about. The program allows your girl to learn these skills, which are goal setting, decision making, money management, people skills, and business ethics. And they really are foundational skills. And I think Kim would agree. They benefit her throughout her whole life. So whether she's starting a business or managing a budget, leading a team, leading her family through situations, or even being part of an election, if she's going to be a candidate, that's something that would be important too, or if she's joining the board of directors. So it gives her a sense of ownership and confidence. She gets to set her own goals, make her own plans, and then really see the direct results of her effort, which is what we really loved about the program too. And then the funds raised support the troops activities, which could include community service projects or adventures, which is great because the girls get to choose what those adventures are. And we'll talk about all those things in just a moment. Next slide, please. All right, so the skills in particular. So we have goal setting first, which is not only setting that initial goal, but also measuring your progress towards achieving the goal, and then adjusting the goal. When you knock that goal out of the park during the second week of cookie season, you've got some additional goals you can add on and do some even more spectacular things. Decision making, making decisions not only as an individual Girl Scout, but also as a team, working with her troop, working with her family to make decisions about how she's going to run her business. Money management is a big one. That's creating a budget and also caution and handling money. So one of the most exciting things for me is when I go out to cookie booths and the girls can count back the change. How few stores or restaurants that you go to can the clerk really count the change back appropriately? If they don't type in $10 into the cash register and see that your change is $4, they don't know how to do that. So money management is a huge piece, and money handling is a huge piece of this program. Business ethics is another set of skills. They act ethically, not only in business, but again, in their life, in their job, in their sorority, alumni association. And then people skills, being confident through interacting with their customers, interacting with others, negotiating the best delivery time, things like that. It's all very important, and again, will benefit them for their entire lifetime. Next slide, please.
Side note about
These
the money
show why.
management.
It's a big one.
Yeah, side note about that. It also gets them used to those cash interactions and can eventually help them catch counterfeit bills. I did that at my own garage sale over the summer. Had someone try to pay me in a very, very realistic movie production money. And because all of the different cash handling I've done throughout different jobs that I've had, being a Girl Scout, helping, my daughter sell cookies, I was able to just feel the difference in the paper and be like, this doesn't feel right. So random little side note about part of the money management.
Yep, lifelong benefit, right? So these skills matter for dozens and dozens of reasons. We have just a few examples here. One, they can set goals, meet deadlines. Sometimes the goals need to be broken down into smaller chunks. And actually, that's one of the reasons why we have cookie bites. We broke these down into smaller chunks so everyone can absorb all the information. And here for girls, breaking things down into smaller chunks to meet those incremental goals as they are working towards the main overarching goal. Being able to work well with others, cooperating, learning as a team, working together, all of those things are important. And also knowing how to learn from others' ideas, and to be flexible, working together. Understanding customers is important, and they could be customers in the traditional consumer way, but they could also be constituents, patients, viewers, club members, all those sorts of things. They want to also internal and external customers of their business. So working to understand their needs, listening skills are important there. And then the next one is influencing others. So they could be an influencer on social media, but they'll know how to pitch a product, talk about the benefits of a product, or pitch their ideas at work, stand up for themselves and that sort of thing. And then the last one, of course, to me is the foundation for the others, and that is to be trustworthy, reliable, honest, do what you say you're going to do, follow through. All of these skills are valued in life. And her adventures throughout life, her business, her growth, her success, they're all critical. Next slide, please. All right, Kim, would you like to tell us a little bit about how girls use the skills?
Sure. Girl Scouts can use these skills every time they plan a trip, an event, a party, every time they make a purchase at a store, anytime they need to make a choice for themselves, their family, even their friends, every time they meet someone new with those people skills and in ethics. And then when they interview for a scholarship or a new job, and not only, being able to pitch a sale or an idea or an invention, but being able to give themselves as that sales pitch, being able to get a promotion by saying, okay, these are my skills. This is why I'm valuable. It's something that a lot of people don't realize that they need to develop a skill to even do that. Um, a lot of girls may even use these skills subconsciously. They, can end up practicing them all the time without even realizing it. Like if they're trying to figure out buying their friend something for their birthday present, and mom says, okay, I need you to keep it under $20. And now, okay, we're going to go to the store. What can we get her that's under $20 that she's going to like? And that, is going to be something that we can easily wrap and present to her. So finishing that up, when we as parents and leaders and mentors start these girls out with a good foundation with these skills, they end up taking it, they run with it, and they end up doing amazing things.
I couldn't agree more, Kim. Thank you for sharing that. My favorite piece of that money management skill where you were sharing about the girl and the birthday party and the gift,
Yeah.
I absolutely loved it when my parents would give me a budget for things like that, because that would inspire me to go bargain hunting and get the best possible gift for my $20. I think back in my day, it was more like 10 or 15. But boy, I was shopping the sales aisle because I wanted to get that girl something impressive. I wanted to wrap it beautifully and just really use those funds in the best possible way. And that, as you're aware, I still like to shop for the best deal and
You
get
love
the
going
most for
shopping.
my money. Oh my gosh, it's the best. And it's really not buying that's my favorite. It's just comparing and making sure I'm getting the best deal for what I'm looking for. So it's another way the thread of Girl Scouts has really just woven right through my life in a good way. Next slide, please. All right, so this slide helps us compare and contrast the two programs that we've been talking about today, the Fall Product Program and the Cookie Program. The Fall Product Program takes place in the fall, and it runs from about, I'd say mid to early September through October, and then the girls get the items in November to deliver to their customers to the extent that they take the product in hand at all. Many of these sales take place directly. The customer just orders them online and they're shipped directly. They include all kinds of fun things. We've got a brand new cherry chocolate item that's going to be great. There's also a caramel trail mix that's going to be great. And there's some fun bark boxes and Tervis tumblers that last forever. They're marvelous. There's some new candles. There's all kinds of wonderful things that their friends and families can order very easily. And that's, I think, my favorite part of the program. It is so darn easy. It's easy for the volunteers, easy for the families. Just, send out some emails, and that could be all there is to it. It also is valuable. So the Fall Product Program items earn more money per item than the cookie program. So while it's not as large of a program, so they probably won't get as much total funds for the troop, it is a valuable program for what it is and allows the troop to have some money in the fall. So the troop can purchase badges and supplies and things. And then it also is delightful because it helps girls start off the cookie program with some skills already in their back pocket. So they won't be hiding behind their mom's leg like I was at the first cookie booth. They'll already have had some success with the Fall Product Program and be able to hit the ground running at cookie time. Then Cookies is a much larger program. Of course, it's known, it's internationally famous, the Girl Scout Cookie Program. So overall, more funds go to the troops. Those funds can be used to pay for field trips and supplies, membership renewals, all sorts of things for the troop. And girls earn little goodies and tchotchkes and things like that, just like they do in the Fall Product Program. But for Cookies, the most valuable reward for the girls, of course, besides the skills and the experiences, are program credits. And those credits can be earned in order to pay for things like summer camp sessions, their new uniform next year when they bridge to juniors or brownies or what have you, their annual memberships and that sort of thing. So they can earn all sorts of funds for their program credits, but also for their troop. And then as a troop, they get to decide what they're going to spend their troop proceeds on. Additionally, these programs fund the council so that the council can provide Girl Scouts with things such as maintenance of our summer camp properties, badge workshops, STEM Day, Wellness Day, leader support and training, assistance for financial hardship. All sorts of things are possible because of the girl participation in the product programs. So it's terrific. Next slide, please. All right, so we talked a little bit about how these programs are woven throughout with the Girl Scout Promise and Law. And we're not going to really read them today, but I wanted to share that girls, when they're at a troop meeting or a Girl Scout event, we typically open with the Promise and Law. We recite those each time. And we just want to remind you that we want girls and volunteers to be guided by the Girl Scout Promise and Law through the product programs as well. For example, they're to be honest and fair, which also can be interpreted by being honest with their customers. So there's some business ethics there. Respecting authority. So when a store manager asks you to move your cookie booth to another part of the store or another part of the property, you'll do that. Being considerate, making sure that when your cookie booth period is over, you let the next troop sell cookies without a fuss. Being considerate and caring, making sure you don't block a customer's way into or out of a store, that you approach them with kindness and a smile and that sort of thing. And also being a sister to every Girl Scout. I think that is, again, the overarching one of those, and that is to treat every Girl Scout and furthermore every human with respect, and realizing that this is not a contest. We work together, we succeed together. So it's not, you versus me. There are plenty of cookies and plenty of customers for everyone to be as successful as they want to be. Next slide, please. So this slide will share with us how the cookie programs fit in with the Girl Scout leadership experience. Of course, first of all, it's girl-led. So the girls can choose what they want to do, how they want to participate in the product programs, or either whether they want to participate in the programs. They are optional. They're also a bit of a choose your own adventure, where if they want to do a booth but not take orders, or if they want to go door to door but not be at a booth, whatever it is, the girls are able to choose what they want to do, one, on their own and with their family, but then two, as a troop. Does the troop want to earn enough money to go on a trip to a zoo in another city? Well, now it's time to budget. How much are the tickets? How much is the transportation? Do we need to provide a lunch? And then they divide that up by the amount of proceeds each package earns their troop. And then they have their budget for how many cookies they need to sell in order to make the zoo trip happen. So, but again, that's all girl-led. They make the decisions at various levels depending on their age group and capability. Girls also learn by doing. So here they're engaging with the materials, they're engaging with customers, they are participating in the activity. And it doesn't only happen at the cookie booth. It might happen at a cookie rally, which we'll talk about in another video. It may happen at home when they're making posters for their cookie booth, or they're designing a cookie costume that they'd like to wear, when they're practicing their pitch, when they're filming a video to sell their cookies on their own digital web store. So they will be doing all sorts of things to learn and practice these skills. And then there's also lots of cooperative learning. They, of course, learn by themselves, but then they also learn with and from each other. They collaborate. They also learn from their families. And one of my biggest champions growing up with the cookie program was my dad. He was in sales, and so he helped me hone my pitch, helped me know that walking up to a customer, making eye contact and smiling were the keys to the whole thing. And then we did some practicing. One of the booths, I approached 5 people without smiling and 5 people with smiling, and it was a different experience for all of us. So I learned very quickly there, doing a little bit of a test, whether smiling and making eye contact makes a difference, and I assure you that it does. But we learn these skills and apply them throughout our lifetimes. Next slide, please. Okay, so one more thing that I want to add about the Girl Scout leadership experience before I talk about this slide, and that did not make it onto the slide, was that it's fun. Girl Scout cookie time was my favorite time of the year. My teachers would ask me about it. And of course, I didn't just stop at my one teacher, right? I also talked to the custodian and the secretary and the principal. And, everybody knew that I was the Girl Scout and I was selling cookies. And so please don't rule out, yes, there's a lot of skill building and money management and record keeping and all that sort of stuff, but it is so much fun. You will watch your girl grow in ways that I think that will be unbelievable. So please do consider participating in the program, even if you just dip your toe in to try it once. Please do that. Please give your girl the opportunity to learn these skills and grow, because you will notice a huge difference. And I see a giant smile on Kim's face. Would you agree, Kim?
I would. And, previously I was a troop leader as well. I had a multi-level troop of girls. And when we did our bridging ceremony, the last year I was their leader, I can't tell you how many of my 20-something girls went and turned around and said that their favorite thing about the last year was cookies. It was over half of them. So it is fun. They do enjoy it. And I know my daughter can't wait till next year. She's already planning what she's gonna do, what rewards she's gonna earn, and she doesn't even know what rewards are available yet. So, but
She's planning.
She really is. But it is fun, and even though it's a lot of extra work for parents and leaders and the volunteers, it it's worth it to see their smile when they grab that reward and they're just like, this is my stuffy, or can I make you another thing of cotton candy, mom? So totally worth it.
Oh yeah, totally worth it. So on this slide here, and we gave you a little bit of extra time with it if you need to take a screenshot, but if you have questions, we are not physically here 24/7. We do try to have meals and sleep, but we want to make sure that you're aware that you can contact customer care. That is the best way to get through to us all the time. Customer care email, of course, accepts email all hours of the day and night. And our customer care phone number is 208-377-2011. Again, customer care also has meals and sleep. And you can also leave a voicemail message. Any message that comes through customer care, whether it's a phone message, you talk to a person, or you email customer care, those all go into a, what would I call it? Like a question pile. And we are measured on the question pile, how quickly we get back to people, how much information folks need. And we love getting your questions because that helps us inform what we need to share with people. So we would rather get 1 or 2 questions and come up with a new video or send out an email to everybody with this new information or additional information than have 97 people out there have the question and not ask us. So please, please, if you have something you need to know, of course, we encourage you to check out the resources that we'll be providing in a few weeks. Those will be available on our website soon. But if you don't see what you need, please, please contact customer care. We'd be delighted to help you. And I think our last slide is a giant thank you. We really appreciate your time and effort, and we look forward to having you watch our follow-up videos. We are going to post one every Monday from August 4th to November 17th, which is the week before Thanksgiving. And again, we will be giving you the entrepreneurship information in chunks. There will also be in December a volunteer training session as well as a family information session, but those are higher level operational pieces, whereas this information is more how it affects your girls, how guidelines and suggestions and ideas. So please do tune in every week at your leisure. And if you can't make it one week, that's totally fine. You can watch them in a different order. You can watch them at a different time. And we are also trying to keep these fairly short so you can watch them maybe while you're waiting for a doctor's appointment or something like that. So we hope to see you at all of these and hope you have a great week. Thank you.